Ulukut, good day to all of you, and I hope that you're all going to be learning a great deal at this remarkable Northern Young Leaders Summit. And my thanks to Peggy Holroyd of Pembina Institute for having invited me to speak to you today in this video message. I hoped to have been able to be in Inuvik with you, but unfortunately I couldn't, so this is the next best thing, and I speak to you from my home in Iqaluit. Now, I believe that this summit is a great opportunity, as you're participating in it, to be an extraordinary opportunity for you to develop your own leadership skills and learn the best way to engage your communities, our nation, and certainly, indeed, our world on this crucial issue. As I understand, you'll be working on developing your own stories and public speaking skills about climate change, and I hope to be able to share with you in this brief time some of my own experiences on how I've been able to communicate this critical and crucial story to the world. And it is a great challenge because it's a great, huge world. But, you know, it can be done if your story is heartfelt and real. And I hope to be able to help and inspire some of you as you frame your own narratives and find ways to bring this story about climate change and global change. Now, when I speak to the audiences, usually from the South, I often begin with the context of the Inuit story. I share with them that we Inuit have weathered the storm of modernization remarkably well, moving from an almost entirely traditional way of life to a very modern way of life only in the past 60, 70 years. And certainly I use myself as an example where the first 10 years of my life I traveled only by dog team the first 10 years of my life, and now, you know, travel to faraway places on jumbo jets to help negotiate certain treaties or to be sharing this story in some way, just to give you a snapshot picture of how quickly things have changed for us. Now, understandably, the speed of change has really knocked us off balance on many fronts, and we know what those are, you know, and I won't go into all of the detail of that, but we know the social problems that inflict us in our communities. We have been historically the most independent of peoples, very self-sufficient as Inuit of the world, and we know that other Aboriginal peoples that are here at this summit have the same history as we do as Inuit. We're very self-sufficient, very self-reliant, but we lost much of that control over our lives as a result of the tumultuous change and the multiple historical traumas that have happened to us. And together, these rapid changes and the traumas deeply wounded and dispirited many of us, which ended up translating into a real collective pain for many of our families and our communities. And we know substance abuse, the health problems, and the loss of so many of our young people in taking their lives have really resulted in this kind of rapid change. And considering how quickly this change has happened in our world, it is an understandable place that we are in. It is understandable, but it is not a place where we want to be in this hopeless or powerless type of position for much longer. And we must start to take back our personal powers, our own personal powers, by alleviating dependencies in our lives, no matter what they may be as dependencies, because in my opinion, dependencies are certainly at the root, they are the root of the many problems that we face in our world. And so from positions of focus and strength, we must take back that personal and collective power so that we may lead from that position of clarity and focus and not from fear, because I do believe that all addictions are fear-based. So getting back to our historical context, I think through all of our challenges, we've had our land, we've had the predictability of our environment, our climate, and certainly the wisdom of our elders and our hunters who have guided us through this transitioning period we've been in, where that has helped us to really adapt to the fast pace that has come at us. And once, the audience that I speak to comes to understand that unique place from where our culture has grown and thrived, I then begin to tell them of the changes that are taking place in our world today, of how our environment and climate are no longer so predictable as in the past. As we know, we remain a real hunting people of the land, the ice and snow. That is the very foundation of our culture. The land and the process of the hunt for our youth, much like a university education, not only teaches all of you young people and those who go out on the land with parents and grandparents, it teaches you not just the technical aspect of the hunt, but very much the character building, which is so necessary not only to survive on the land, but they're very transferable skills. Skills such as life skills, what I'm talking about when I say character skills, life skills such as patience, courage, determination, persistence, how to be reflective, persistence. Those are all really key components to making it in life. And so our young people, they learn to be focused and strategic and to take the right survival-based risks under the right conditions at the right time. And they also learn, our children, while they're out on the land and the ice and snow, they learn to control their impulses and to withstand and cope with stressful situations, to develop ultimately sound judgment and wisdom. And of course, very importantly, they also learn who they are in terms of their sense of identity, their sense of self-worth, and their confidence is very much built while they're out there on the land. And they become very proficient as natural conservationists, but also as providers of our wonderful country food. So our hunting culture is not only relevant for survival on the land, it teaches crucial life skills and wisdom that are very, as I said earlier, very transferable to the modern world. And many Inuit have acquired, in fact, and continue to live on the land and hunt and partake in the traditional skills part of our culture, are making it in the modern world as well. That's what I'm saying, is that you can have that balance of both worlds. It's not about either or, and one way of life does not have to be at a cost to the other. So the key here for all of you, I believe, is to ensure that your audiences understand that this is a human story and not just an environmental or economic one. And I often move from this description of our teaching and learning of the land to describing how the ability to recover from our historical traumas and to stand on our own feet now is being challenged by the rapid climate changes. Because there's no disconnect between the social problems that we're faced in our communities to the environmental problems. They are one of the same. Because as we now face dangerously unpredictable weather and unpredictable conditions of our ice and snow and the extreme erosion, with all these new species coming north, and all of these changes are really having a great deal of impact on our ability to maintain our way of life traditionally, that teaches us so much about how we can tackle issues of life, whether they be challenges or opportunities. And so these challenges really are starting to erase a memory of where we have come from, where we are, and where we wish to be.